What they really mean is they're describing a worldview that hates you, that hates everything America stands for.
Rachel Zegler wasn't supposed to lose this way. Not like this, not publicly, not globally, and certainly not to a bunch of pixelated cubes. But here we are. It was supposed to be Disney's return to magic, their revival of the crown jewel. Snow White, the classic that built an empire. A $300 million passion project, polished and pushed with every ounce of marketing muscle the House of Mouse could muster. It had everything: big names, modern values, a star on the rise. Yet somehow, it ended up dead on arrival. Meanwhile, Minecraft, yes, Minecraft, a video game made of blocks and silence, was busy writing its name into box office history. In one weekend, it raked in more money than Disney's Snow White did in 3. Globally, audiences swarmed to see it, lines out the door, packed theaters, kids shouting, families laughing, critics dismissed it as silly, too childish, too simple, but fans didn't care. Because Minecraft didn't try to teach them anything. It didn't tell them how to think, who to love, what to believe. It just entertained. And that's why Rachel Zegler's world came crashing down. She wasn't ready. Nobody on the Snow White team was.
And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft...
As the numbers came in, one after another, the reality became impossible to ignore. Minecraft was a cultural phenomenon. Snow White was a cautionary tale. One embraced its audience, the other lectured them. It wasn't just a loss. It was humiliation, and it broke her. Rachel Zegler had gone from promising star to Hollywood pariah almost overnight. The loud, confident voice that once proclaimed, "This isn't 1937 anymore," now echoed back at her with venom. Her face on, posters, her name in hashtags. But the story? The story had flipped. She wasn't the heroine anymore. She was the villain in her own fairy tale, and it all started long before the box office disaster. From the moment Disney announced their live-action Snow White remake, fans were skeptical, but hopeful. Maybe they'd get it right this time. Maybe, just maybe, they'd respect the original. But then Rachel spoke. And when she did, everything changed. She mocked the old film, called it weird, dismissed the prince as creepy, called,
"But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat."
true love outdated. In her version, Snow White didn't want romance. She wanted power, leadership, autonomy. She didn't need saving. She needed space. To some, this was refreshing. To most, it was insulting. Because Snow White wasn't just a story. It was a memory, a feeling, a reminder of innocence, of dreams, of hope. And suddenly, that feeling was being dissected, critiqued, ridiculed by the woman chosen to represent it. Audiences didn't forget. The internet didn't forgive. Clips of Rachel's interviews spread like wildfire, side-by-side edits showing her sarcastic tone against scenes of the original Snow White. People laughed. People raged. The comment sections turned brutal. And yet, Rachel doubled down. "If you don't like it," she said, "I don't need your business." She didn't mean it to be cruel, but it landed like a slap to Disney fans, to parents, to the very people the movie needed most. And behind the scenes? Panic. Executives watched the fire grow. They watched social media erupt. They watched the press tour spiral. But they said nothing. They didn't pull her back. They didn't shift. The narrative, they just let it burn. A $300 million gamble, unraveling one interview at a time. Then came the leaks. Insiders at Disney revealed a storm of chaos, rewrites, reshoots, recasting discussions, marketing breakdowns. One source said, "We were screaming internally. No one knew how to stop the bleeding." Test audiences were confused. Why is it called Snow White if she's not even white? Where's the prince? What's the point? The answers? All buried beneath layers of modern messaging. The message became the movie, and the movie lost its soul. Then Minecraft released, a movie about a game where nothing talks, where characters are square, where logic is non-existent. It shouldn't have worked, but it did, because it didn't try to be anything it wasn't. It embraced the silly, the fun, the weirdness. It gave audiences what Snow White didn't: joy. And Rachel? She watched the numbers come in from a distance. Her online presence dimmed. No tweets, no statements, just silence. And somewhere along the way, she lost control of the story. She became the face of Disney's biggest failure in years. Not the writers, not the directors. Her. Was that fair? Not entirely. She didn't write the script. She didn't greenlight the message. But she became the mouthpiece, the tone, the face of a film that was supposed to celebrate something classic, and instead treated it like a punchline. Critics called her smug, entitled, condescending. She acts like she's too good for the role, one fan wrote. So why should we care? And the worst part? It wasn't just conservative voices pushing back. It was everyone: parents, fans, nostalgia lovers, even progressives tired of every movie becoming a lecture. The backlash was bipartisan, and as Minecraft soared, Disney scrambled. Reports came in of executive-level finger-pointing. Marketing blamed PR. PR blamed casting. Casting blamed direction. Everyone blamed the script. Some blamed Rachel outright. Others defended her. But no one had answers. What they had was failure. $77 million worldwide after 3 weeks. A disaster, one that not even Disney could spin. They canceled appearances. Rachel vanished from interviews. Disney quietly pulled Snow White merchandise from storefronts. Marketing budgets dried up. Ads disappeared. The noise faded, but the damage remained. Meanwhile, Minecraft was everywhere. Teens in suits filming TikToks at the theater, kids chanting quotes. Parents thrilled to have a movie that didn't make them feel guilty or stupid. Critics gave it 40%. Audiences gave it 87%. The divide had never been clearer. Hollywood was learning, again, that messages don't sell, stories do, and that's where Rachel Ziegler's story turns tragic. Because deep down, she probably believed in what she was saying. She probably thought she was evolving the character, making her stronger, smarter, braver. But strength without heart is cold. Bravery without kindness is harsh. And Snow White? She wasn't just a leader. She was light. She was love. She was magic. And when you take the magic out of a fairy tale, all you're left with is noise. Rewrite them for clout. Let us know in the comments. And if this breakdown hit home for you, if you're tired of watching your favorite stories turned into lectures, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We're just getting started because sometimes all people really want is a happily ever after.